What if the person you've shared your whole life with, raised children with, faced storms with, built dreams with, suddenly begins to feel more like a stranger than a soulmate? You're both sitting at the dinner table, but the silence feels heavier than ever. You're not fighting, but you're not laughing anymore either. You catch yourself thinking, is this really how we end up? Is this all there is after decades of love? This is the silent epidemic nobody talks about, the quiet resentment that creeps in after 68. It doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, through forgotten conversations, unmet emotional needs, and the painful weight of routine. And yet it's so common that millions of couples feel it but never speak about it. Resentment in the golden years isn't about hate, it's about emotional starvation, the longing to be seen, understood, and cherished, even after all these years. In this video, we'll dive deep into why so many older couples drift apart, and more importantly, how you can protect your relationship from becoming another sad statistic. We'll uncover the 5 hidden emotional triggers that often go unnoticed, until it's too late. If you're over 60, or love someone who is, this might be the most important relationship advice you'll ever hear. Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to share can either save your marriage or awaken you before the regret sets in. Number 1, the pain of emotional neglect. Why silence hurts more than words. At 68 and beyond, something strange begins to happen in many long-term relationships. It's not shouting matches or dramatic betrayals. It's emotional silence, that deafening quiet where once there was laughter, curiosity, or even small arguments. Over time, couples begin to neglect emotional intimacy, and the cost is far greater than most realize. Psychologically, the need to feel seen, heard, and emotionally validated doesn't vanish with age. In fact, it grows stronger. After retirement, when daily responsibilities fade, we begin to see our partner not through the lens of logistics, but through emotional truth. And that truth often reveals a hard reality. We've stopped emotionally feeding each other. Let me tell you about Margaret and Henry, married for 43 years. On paper, they had everything: a home, grown children, a quiet retirement. But Margaret confessed something heartbreaking. I don't think Henry has asked me how I feel in the last 10 years. Not out of cruelty, out of habit, out of forgetting that love requires attention. And what does the brain do when it feels emotionally starved? It creates resentment as a defense. We begin to assign blame, even subconsciously. He never listens. She always nags. These aren't criticisms. They're cries for emotional connection. The truth is, a marriage doesn't die from hate. It dies from neglect, from assuming your partner knows how you feel, from thinking love no longer needs to be expressed. If you're watching this and thinking, I don't remember the last time we really talked, you're not alone. But this can change. Start with one vulnerable question tonight. Ask, how do you feel really? And listen, like your relationship depends on it, because it does. Number 2, the power struggle of unspoken regret. By the time most couples reach their late 60s, there's a mountain of unspoken regrets hiding beneath the surface. Maybe one gave up a dream. Maybe one stayed silent during years of hardship. Maybe one never forgave a betrayal, big or small. Over time, these regrets don't disappear. They morph into quiet resentment and worse, into a subtle power struggle. Suddenly, every conversation becomes a negotiation. Every favor has a hidden scorecard. I did this for you, now you owe me. This power dynamic is often rooted in unresolved emotional debts. In psychology, this is known as cognitive dissonance. When our reality doesn't align with our inner expectations, we experience emotional discomfort. And instead of confronting it, we redirect it at our spouse. Take James, 71, who spent most of his life providing for his family. Now retired, he feels invisible. He lashes out over small things: dinner not being ready, the TV too loud, because underneath it all, he's thinking, I gave up everything. What did I get in return? This is not selfishness. It's pain disguised as pride. To protect your relationship, you must confront regret, not bury it. This means having honest conversations without judgment. Ask each other, is there anything you've held on to that you haven't said? Allow space for vulnerability. Forgiveness is not just about the past, it's about freeing your future. When resentment is left unchecked, love becomes transactional. But when we speak our truth, we shift from resentment to renewal. Don't wait for a funeral to say what should have been said at dinner. Say it now. Clear the ledger. Let love be a place of healing, not a courtroom of complaints. Number 3, the identity crisis. Who am I without the kids or career? At 68, many people face a psychological crossroads. The kids are grown. The career is over. The roles that once defined them, mother, provider, protector, begin to fade. And with that loss comes an unsettling question. Who am I now? This identity crisis can shake a marriage to its core. Because if you no longer recognize yourself, how can you truly connect with your partner? Here's where it gets tricky. Both spouses often go through this crisis at the same time, but express it in different ways. One might retreat into hobbies, the other into silence. Some feel aimless, others feel bitter. And without clear communication, these internal battles turn outward, targeting the only person who's always been there, your spouse. Take Rosa and Glenn. She spent decades managing the household. He worked tirelessly outside of it. Now both are retired. Rosa feels lost, unneeded. Glenn becomes irritated, feeling suffocated. The real issue? Neither of them feels seen in this new chapter. Psychologically, we crave purpose. And when we lose it, we look for someone to blame. Sadly, that someone is often the person closest to us. Here's the solution. Reinvent your identity together. That means creating new shared goals, not just reminiscing about the past. Whether it's volunteering, traveling, mentoring, or learning something new, purpose must be rebuilt, not mourned. Ask each other, who do we want to become now? Not who were we? Because love that endures is love that evolves. A relationship is not a relic, it's a living thing. Don't let your past define your future. Choose to grow together. Number 4, physical decline, emotional distance. When the body affects the bond. One of the most overlooked causes of resentment after 68 is physical decline. As health issues emerge, joint pain, fatigue, libido changes, cognitive shifts, they silently take a toll on emotional connection. And when the physical connection fades, emotional distance often follows. Sexual intimacy may become difficult. Even basic physical affection, hugging, holding hands can become rare. And here's the dangerous part. Many couples don't talk about it, out of embarrassment, shame, or fear of hurting each other. But the silence breeds assumptions. She's not attracted to me anymore. He doesn't care. And that turns into bitterness. Psychologically, this taps into fear of abandonment and loss of desirability. We all want to feel wanted at any age. When that's lost, it's not just about sex. It's about identity, confidence, connection. Eleanor, 70, once said, "He never touches me anymore. Not even my hand. I don't think he finds me beautiful." Her husband? He was terrified of hurting her arthritic joints, so he avoided touch altogether. Two people hurting, both misreading the other. To protect your relationship, talk openly about physical changes. Get medical support where needed. Explore new ways to connect. Gentle touch, emotional closeness, eye contact, shared laughter. Love doesn't have to fade with age, but it must adapt. Remember, intimacy isn't about perfection, it's about presence. You may not move like you used to, but your love can still be felt, deeply and powerfully. Number 5, the fear of time. Running out, resentment as a reaction to mortality. As we age, we become acutely aware of our mortality, and that awareness can trigger deep emotional responses, regret, urgency, fear. Some people respond by clinging tighter, others by lashing out at those they love most. Why? Because the ticking clock creates pressure. Did I live the life I wanted? If the answer is no, some people blame their spouse. Consciously or not, they project their fear of death onto the person beside them. You held me back. You never listened. You didn't understand me. But here's the truth. Resentment is easier than grief. Anger feels stronger than fear. Robert, 72, began arguing with his wife over small things, how she loaded the dishwasher, what TV show she picked. Eventually, in a moment of clarity, he admitted, I'm scared. I'm scared we don't have much time left, and I don't know what to do with that. This kind of honesty is rare, but it's powerful. To protect your relationship, embrace time as a gift, not a threat. Talk about your fears, create memories, heal old wounds, stop counting the years and start living the days. It's never too late to love deeply, to laugh until you cry, to hold hands during a storm. The greatest tragedy isn't dying, it's reaching the end and realizing you didn't truly live with the one you loved most. Let fear make you bolder, not bitter. Let time remind you to cherish, not resent. Conclusion, lasting impact. So now you know, resentment in our later years doesn't come from betrayal. It comes from emotional starvation, unresolved regrets, lost identity, unspoken fears, and physical changes we never dared to discuss. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. You can break the cycle. You can reignite connection, not by grand gestures, but by choosing courage. The courage to speak, to listen, to forgive, to adapt. It starts tonight, not tomorrow, not next month. Tonight. Sit with your partner and say, I've been thinking about us. I don't want us to drift apart. I want us to grow together. The love you've built over decades is not meant to fade. It's meant to evolve. Like the strongest trees, your roots run deep, but only if you keep watering them. If this message touched you, share it. Someone out there might be silently suffering, waiting for a sign that it's not too late. Leave a comment. Tell us your story. And if you believe in love that lasts, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started on this journey of healing, growth, and deeper connection. Because real love doesn't retire, it rewires, and the best chapter may still be ahead.